welcome back to another edition of Talk Football Live. We're going into match week 10. The main focus for us this week is, of course, the big Manchester derby, Manchester United versus Manchester City. And if you've been following us for a while, you might notice that we have a couple of faces. You've probably seen Donadoni once or twice before. And we have Cincy joining us. Cincy is a Manchester United fan. And we have Donadoni the Great, a long-time Manchester City. So he's not one of those young cats who just started following City. He's been following them from time. So we have these two here as we look at the game. We'll just get their thoughts. Where they think their teams are likely to dominate, where they think they might win. Sissy, I'll kick it off with you. I know you and I have talked offline a bit about how Mayu has been doing. I've heard a lot of complaints about Onana. How do you feel going into this derby on Sunday?
Well, I mean, for me, I think going into this derby, it's tricky. I know we've won about 3 games in a row now, but if I really go back and assess those games, I'm not the kind of person that just run with the wins, because for me it just takes more than the W, especially for United currently right now with the situation that we are in. I think performance is paramount. Like we need to be able to turn up. And if you look at all the schedules that we've played Sheffield, I believe we played, was it, I'm not sure if it was Brentford, and played Copenhagen in UCL. And the performance were like, you know, I don't know. They were not just up to par. Yes, we won the game, but I mean, if you look at people that were even scoring, those were even major red flags for me. People
Mm,
like Maguire, McTominay, Dalot. So these were unusual goal scorers. Where are the likes of Rashford? Where are the likes of Fernandez? Where are the guys that are supposed to be showing up? They are not showing up. They are not in form. And we are going to
mm,
play a team like City, who is in top form. So for me, I'm not going to get carried away with the 3 wins in a row based on
okay.
the performance. I mean, the wins are good for the mentality. It's good to go into those games with that kind of energy. But I'm not too optimistic about the game. I would say a draw would probably be the best I would hope for. But
Okay.
I won't be surprised if I'm not, if it's City will comes out. But I'm hoping. I don't know. I'm just being real. This is the issue I have United. I wake up every day
Yeah.
and I try to gauge how we can get things done. I mean, for example, during the transfer market, we had an opportunity to grab some really really key players. To address some really really core issues. Yes, I understand that the Glazers have their problem. And I'm like, okay, that's upper management. Let them be. Every
Right.
club has their own wala. Now we are in the coaching, department. This
Right.
is a department where it's in our own control. Let's control it. We have the summer to address certain things, and we had relegation teams from Southampton, teams like Leicester City. I mean,
Yeah.
these are teams that actually had some really, really good players like, Ward Prowse, Madison. You know,
Mm,
these are players that we could have looked into. I'm like, and I was telling my friend when the season ended, I was like, my God, I hope somebody is really looking into all these relegation teams. These are some key players we can get. And when the summer came, I'm now seeing the likes of Mount. Then okay, then the winch on the gear happened where this guy started chasing him and they were talking about it. Yes, I understand that the gear had his lapses last season. He made a couple of mistakes, but I didn't think this was the time for us to
to replace
make that wasn't the key
replace
change.
the keeper.
Right
Okay.
now, we had other things to address. We didn't have a key striker. We didn't have a key decent defensive midfielder. We had some defensive lapses, that we had to fill. And
Okay.
our focus was on the goalkeeper at this point. And we decided to go get Onana because we were looking for a keeper that could pass the ball, other than one that could stop the ball. I'm like, I don't know. So
So let
every
me let me let me
yeah.
get Donadoni's impression. It sounds like you have there are some key areas for Manchester United that you feel are lapses that weren't quite addressed. Donadoni, how are you feeling for Manchester City going into this game?
Man City is gonna win. Uh,
I love your one-liners.
is in the past, right? they've relied a lot on counter attacks to beat Man City.
Mm,
Counter attack has been one of their major strengths to beat Man City. This season, they have a lot of problems. They have a goalkeeping problem, which they never did. The back line is not together. You really find it difficult to know what the problem is, but opponents create chances too easily. You don't know
mm,
whether it's the way they set up or his formation or something. The opponents get you are if you're playing Man U, you probably even if you're a weak team, you probably will get 4 chances at goal.
mm,
And with playing City, you definitely there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Then up front, for some reason, Rashford is not clicking, and the coach should have rotated him out just to bring back the hunger. He's not doing that. A lot of things are not clicking for them, and I don't think they've handled the Sancho issue well. So, like you mentioned, Mount Mount is not the one to buy. I think
right.
I don't know why they bought Mount, but I don't think Mount was the right guy to buy.
Mm. Interesting. So
So
you're both seeing a lot of issues for Man U at the moment.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Beto, I'm gonna come to you, right? I want to get your perspective as a neutral person on this, and I'm going to bring up the lineups from. So both teams played in the Champions League this week. Both teams won, and that gives us an idea maybe of what we might be looking at going into the weekend, right? So on the left we have Manchester United, and on the right we have Manchester City. Where are you thinking the strengths are for both teams, and what are the opportunities, for both teams to win this game?
Is that question for me? Ayo?
Piero, I want to get your perspective
Is
as
that
a
question for
neutral
me? Can you
person.
hear me okay?
Yes, Piero. Yes, we hear you. Yep.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So uh, I'm going to come back to that question of where the opportunities are. I like the
Mhm.
confidence in Donadoni, but I will say this: Man United is one of the clubs that know how to beat Man City, especially when they come to Old Trafford. They've done that many times, and just to make maybe Cincy a bit positive, even those times that they beat City, it wasn't that you guys were at your best or on paper you were rated to win, but somehow, the results came out in your favor. I won't be surprised if that happens again. But to
Mm,
Donadoni's point, those games have been won because of the counter. Maybe Sunday will be the time whereby Rashford will regain his form. It could be. We never can tell. Anthony, Rashford on the wings, they might be able to spring out something. But I do know that Man United know how to beat Man City. And it
mm,
comes back to the rivalry and it comes back to individual players taking it like personal. I believe strongly that if Man United takes this thing personal and this player like play to defend the badge, I think it's possible to beat Man City. Man City is strong, but we've seen them had 3 losses so far this season. So it's doable. It's doable. Now back to the players. Rodri is back. So I
So
see that I see that positivity. And I will let Donadoni speak when he come back to it because he's been angry, he's been furious. This is the one-on-one that he had with me talking about Pep. And if Rodri is out, he doesn't expect Pep to be messing up with the formation. There's a certain way he should play. But Rodri is back, so that's a good news. But I'm not sure if Donadoni likes the guy Luis. So I don't expect Luis to play against Rodri, to play with Rodri on Sunday. I think it's gonna be somebody else. It might be Kovacic or probably bring back Silva into the middle and play Foden to the right. He might do that. I think Nunes might have to rest. So I think it might be Doku and Foden on the wings. He might have to play either Kovacic or Bernardo Silva with Rodri and
okay.
put the other one up front. I think Alan is still going to strike. I think they have a lot of back defenders that can play that back three or back four, however they want to play. Stones is a confirmed midfielder. There's another option for them. So when you look at the Man City squad, They have a team that can start, and they have a very deep bench that can also
Mm.
come in and change the games. Now, when you look at Manchester United, since it raged about ETH and all that, but you need to understand something. A coach knows how he wants to play, and if he wants
Yeah.
to play from the back, you won't get it right away. It took Pep 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons to perfect playing from the back. All of us are just
No,
catching up.
no,
He's been
no,
doing
no,
it for
no, no,
years.
no, no. That's not true. But
Donadoni, he had Joe Hart, he bought Bravo. You remember how many goalkeepers he brought?
no,
He
no,
bought
no, no.
Ederson, cemented.
On his first season, he bought that Barcelona's goalkeeper.
Yeah,
What's the
Claudio
name?
Bravo,
Bravo. Yeah, and then
Bravo.
Bravo.
he's yeah,
And
Yeah.
Bravo became number one. Johad became number two or three.
and then he sent Bravo packing as well.
And he said the Bravo was good with his feet, but could not handle corner kicks, so he got rid of Bravo and
Mhm.
brought Edison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
I think that's
Ederson,
Bio's point. Yeah,
that's
it
what I'm
takes
saying.
time
It
to
took a
find a
while.
keeper who
I'm just
can
saying
both
Pep,
keep in
Pep
the
has
Premier
got
League.
over that.
He didn't take 2, 3 seasons. That's what I'm saying.
But it took 2 seasons. And when I say 2 seasons, I'm talking about even when he started the idea. Remember that he considered some goal, especially against
Oh
Leicester
yeah.
City. Leicester City became it became a it became the real challenge for you when Vardy would counter you. Go and watch those games again in case you've
Yeah,
forgotten.
I remember.
It was
I
Leicester City
remember.
that used
Oh
to
yeah.
break all those ideas. So, but he remained confident and he remained adamant that that's how he wanted to play. My point is, Ateta is doing the same thing. Dizabi is doing the same thing. There are mistakes with this style of play. But if you know that that's how you want to play, you just have to stick with it and hope for it to be perfected. You understand? So you can. My point is to you, ETH is not going to change. He bought Onana for that reason, and he knows that there will be some mistakes at the very early stage. So it's going to blend and let those mistakes happen because it's part of it. Ateta is doing the same thing with Raya. We can see my heartbeat goes away every time Raya tries to make those passes and you're not getting it. Are we going to have that confidence and time to allow Raya to get to that level? Maybe that's what Arteta is looking at. But my point is, anybody that is trying to play from the back, when they think around that, maybe that's why he brought Missing Out. I'm not trying to defend Missing Out, but I just want to call out something. This is different from Glazers, whereby they are players that Man United supporters and coaches didn't want. This time around, ETH wanted Missing Out. ETH wanted
Hmm.
Onana. So the players you brought in, these are players that he wanted. So if you're going to
Yeah.
blame everybody, blame it on ETH. Don't blame it on the Glazers this time around. The
And
blame on
yeah,
the is the way they were bringing the players.
I never blame the Glazers, and I said I left them out of it, and I said this is exactly why I am blaming him for this transfer. I never blamed anybody but
Yeah.
Exactly.
him.
So
So
he said it's the coaching
I
department.
didn't think these players he bought were the right players that we need right now. And let me rebut to your statement about letting him give his United time to let the system play. Right now, this is why I will not give United time. I will tell you why. Number one, the teams like Newcastle, teams like Spurs, these teams are now playing at top level. United does not have that time anymore. We do not have that time anymore. We are going to be so behind if you say you want to wait for these guys to get it together. See,
Yeah.
ETH needs to start getting it together as we go. The problem is I'm not seeing any progression. We are still struggling against the likes of Luton, the likes of Nottingham Forest. I'm telling you, every day when I wake up, every game we play, United is at 50-50. I don't care who it is. May it be Obalende FC. United is at 50-50. I'm telling you, man, United right now, they cannot beat Super Eagles with
So
confidence and
let
faith.
me
I'm telling you, they cannot.
let me ask you that question, right? So looking at the lineups, right? Where do you said, because to your earlier statement, you said you felt that there are key areas where Man U did not address. What are
Yeah,
the areas, especially looking at this lineup and with
for
that
me,
knowledge of the squad, that
yeah,
Man U did not address?
for me, number one was the DM position. We never addressed it. That position should have been solidified from
You
day
brought in
one.
you brought in
You
players,
spent
so you brought
70
in
million on
Amrabat.
Casemiro. Casemiro
So
saved you
hold
Yeah,
on,
last season. You brought
hold on. Hold on.
yes,
There's
he did.
Casemiro,
Yes,
Amrabat, Ericsson.
yes, he did. But I'm telling you, man, these are not the players we need. We need somebody who is solid
really?
enough. We need a player who can
Wow.
actually run. We need the likes of SCM. We need players like what's his name? The Cavaminga, the guy who plays for Real Madrid. We need someone with energy. Nobody has that energy in United team. Other
So
way we just get a
you don't rate
Onana.
Cincy, you don't rate Amrabat.
I don't rate these guys that way, man. They are okay players, but
Amrabat?
look at the way we got Amrabat. We got that guy out of desperation. We got that guy almost quarter to go, man. That should tell you a lot, man. That I mean, come on, this guy was never in the plans. This was an emergency buy. The
Mm.
guy even came in and guess what? He started playing as a left back. I mean, I saw the couple of games he played. He struggled. Those are like confidence killers right there. And again, I'm not trying to say that this is the coach's fault, but I'm telling you, man, the way we approach things is a formula for disaster. It's just what I'm
Mm.
telling you. I've seen this happen before. When Ole was winning United, he was winning. There was a time we were winning 10 games in a row. I was like, okay, this is euphoria wins. This cannot be legitimate wins. They gave him that job. And things just started crashing for this guy. And he could not just get out of that rut. Now, the thing is, we have these performances that are going on. No one is addressing them. We are winning all these games, but no one is addressing all these things that we are doing, all these weak teams that we are playing. We are not showing up. There's no performance, there's nothing. And I'm complaining about people that are scoring. I'm telling you, watch those games and you go and look at all the chances that those teams had. When we play City, and if City is able to produce the same amount of chances, I'm telling you, man, we are going to be in trouble. Number two, we do not create too many chances. The team is
Since
going
have
to
you
be.
looked at Maguire's last 5-6 games? Have you seen that
I
compared
do.
to the games
I
against
I I
you
understand,
don't have
but
faith. You don't have faith in Sam
again, this
Maguire.
is the issue. This is the issue with United. We are getting carried away with moments. We are moment United. We are going around with the moment. Watch when we play City on this thing. What performance is he going to bring? Is he going to bring top game? If City trashes the United 5-0, guess what? We go
I,
back to the old ways. We go back
I
to the
think
old
we
ways.
should get Donadoni, but I have a question for you before we go to Donadoni. Cincy, in this situation with City, would you take a win or would you take performance?
I will take performance, and I've always
Really?
said it.
So,
Yes, I
so
will. I
you
will
don't
take
mind losing to
performance.
City but getting performance?
Yeah, I don't see. I'm telling you, I
Over
don't.
to you, Ayo. I'm done.
No, 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 no. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because people talk about United want to progress. When we play the likes of City, if I can play City and we can chase them with the ball, we play 50. Have you ever seen when City and Liverpool play? It's like pound for pound, fire for fire. I love those games. But when City and
I
United
think
play,
that's Arsenal
I,
City
I
this
said
season.
I said I said I was done, but I will say
but,
this to remind
but,
you.
but,
Last
but,
season when we lost to City, we had possession. Go and check the first leg against City. Arsenal played City. We had more possession with it than we lost.
and
I
that's
was I
fine.
was mad. No, no, no. I did not like it. Ask how I
And that's
never
and
wanted it.
that's you. And that's
I
your
would
opinion.
trade that possession and performance
But
for a
but
win.
but, but let me ask you one
Over
question.
to you.
But let me ask you one question, Mr. Biodun. Where is Arsenal today? Where do you think that performance brought them to? It's a process. Everything is a
Mm.
Well,
process. We
well,
have to
well. I can
see.
also tell you that
It's a, we have to
that's why we didn't
see.
win the league. I can also tell you that that's why we didn't
That's
win
it,
the league.
and that's fine. And that's fine. Arsenal don't win the league. That's fine. But I can tell you that there's progress. Look at where Arsenal is today. Arsenal is in contention to win the league this year. They are playing well. They are playing phenomenal. They are a good team. United cannot give me that.
Donadoni
When
will
United,
disagree.
when
The league
United
belongs to
play City, when United play
Donadoni
Let,
will
City,
disagree.
we
let, me-
sit we sit back too much. We
let,
don't we
let
don't
me
play the ball. How are we
let
going
me
to
get some.
progress? How can we move forward when we don't show performances? And that's where this kind of performances they transpire to the likes of when we play Nottingham Forest and Brentford and we don't perform and we win 1-0 and want to call it, oh yeah, we won. That's fine. I don't want to see that. I want to see performance.
let me switch things a little bit and get Donadoni's perspective. So this time, Donadoni, I'm going to actually ask you to look at it from Mine's perspective. Where do you see? Because I know Biodun has said, you were upset when Arsenal played, a couple of weeks ago, and City lost that game with Rodri out, and they actually lost two
Mhm.
games back to back when they played Wolves with Rodri out. Where do you see any opportunity for Man U to win this game? So, Biodun is talking about would you take a win from
Mm,
this game? If Man U has the opportunity to sneak a win, how do you think they might go about doing that against your City
with this lineup, I don't think it's possible
team?
because with this lineup, I don't think it's possible.
Hmm.
I think I think their best chance is to go big, right? I don't. That lot overlaps too much. He lacks concentration. That is
Interesting.
a that is an opening for Doku. Doku is going to exploit this area extremely well,
Hmm.
right? Regulon has never been a great defender, most likely average. So I see this. I don't see McTominay helping her that much. It's going to be busy. I don't see Amrabat helping out that much. It's going to be busy. So the major work is now left for Rashford,
Rashford.
right?
Yeah.
Now, if Guardiola does not experiment and is disciplined, he has to put Walker here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walker over here makes sure that Rashford cannot beat you for speed, and Rashford's number one weapon is speed. Immediately Walker can take care of that speed. You cut him out.
Mm.
Anthony, for some reason, dances a lot with the ball, but not effective. So if Fernandez is able to get a hold of the ball, he might be the only key link to Holland. But trust City, they are going to punish him by him running around a lot. He's going to tire out because he's probably going to be the free man chasing Rodri around and chasing Stones around in that middle pack. Uh Honestly, I don't see them. I don't even see them getting a draw in this game. It's going to be tough. It's going to be
Interesting.
tough.
So I think even with Cincy being negative about Man U, I'm gonna ask, do you see any chance of your team sneaking this one against City? And I'll remind you guys, so Biodun mentioned it, right? Funny things happen when Man U meet City. I think
Yeah,
back to that last game last season
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
they won 2-1, right? And there was that,
Mm-hmm.
funny goal between
And, and,
Fernandez
and,
and
and
Rashford.
Of course, that was a
yeah,
cheat.
and I'm not
It
gonna,
was more than a fraudulent game.
and you guys, I'm not gonna lie. And if that happens on Sunday, that's fine. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Performances like that are not signs or evidence of progression at all. I'm sorry. That is just you putting a lipstick on a pig. That is what it is. It's an ugly situation
In
in
that
the
case,
Is it
economy.
time
in
for
your case, it was putting the
ETH out?
lipstick on the referee
Well, I'm not saying
because
kicking it here, but
the
I'm saying
referee
that we
was a
need to.
cheat in that game.
It needs to start demanding performances. And this is my own prediction. I think City is going to win this game. I think City is going to win this
Scoreline
game.
prediction.
Scoreline prediction, I'm actually calling out a 3-1.
3-0.
A 3
In
1
favor of
in
City.
favor of
Of
City.
City.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
in
This
favor of
is
City.
a
Yeah.
it's a 3-0 win for me.
Because I have not seen anything from the upfront players to convince me that they are going to show up. And if City is going to be the one pegging them at home, I'm sorry, man, it's going to be a disaster. With Maguire at the back, yeah.
At the Theatre of Dreams,
Actually
Old
disagree.
Trafford.
Yeah?
So, Biodun, what's your
Actually
prediction?
disagree.
What's your prediction?
I think we might see another 2-1 win for Man United.
Really?
One thing I've noticed
But
about these is whenever they
but
go to Old Trafford,
but
things
but
just change.
but
Things just change.
Biodu, if you objectively look at the 2-1 win, it was fraud.
I know, but
Yeah,
that's the game.
so that
You
kind
don't
of
I
understand what I'm
thing
know,
saying.
should
but
not.
that's the thing.
That's how that's how games happen.
I don't want to see
Hold
those
on.
wins. United have
Cincy,
seen them
I
time
agree
and
with you.
time.
Cincy, I
Like,
agree with you. The performances,
yeah, but
the
that's the
wins are not
thing.
backed up by performances,
But
but I'm
you are not
saying results.
a United fan, though. So you want the win,
We've
but I
been
mean that
there.
doesn't
I mean,
help
you're talking
me.
to an Arsenal fan that have been there, that have been through
But
pains, and I'm pretty sure.
but now you're moving. You're
Bio-
moving.
You don't understand? Because we
Biodu,
are moving doesn't
if
erase our memory.
if you remember that game, there was an offside that they did not call
Rashford
offside,
counter,
in
Yeah.
which
yeah.
anybody in the
But
world knew
Donadoni,
that was
Donadoni,
offside.
every season, every team gets robbed. Every
No,
team gets
the
robbed
guy
of
had an
decisions
opportunity
like
to go
this.
look at the camera
Donadoni,
or look at the
before
referee.
yours, Donadoni,
They
before
refused.
Every
yours,
season. Every season.
before yours, we play United. Before your situation, we played United. And what happened? Odegaard
Yep.
won the ball against Ericsson. They called it a foul. They later came back and apologized. That should have been our first goal at Old Trafford. Remember? And we should have just won that game. So it happens to everybody. Again, when the referee makes decision, Liverpool, Tottenham. Tottenham is claiming the top of the league. Why? Because the referee decided not to do his job. So now Tottenham is on top of the table. That's even more consequential.
Let
You
me
see what
let
I'm
me let
saying?
me get
No,
let
So
me
no,
get
I
no,
think
no,
yours.
no,
Hold
no,
on.
no, no,
So
no,
hold
no.
on,
exactly.
hold on,
I would
hold
I
on,
would look at I wouldn't
hold
say
on.
that
Let me
that's
get
why
yours.
I would not sorry to cut you off, Ayo. I would
Yeah.
not say that is why Spurs is on top of the table. So Spurs have been phenomenal. I mean, please, I would not take anything away from that team. Those guys are actually overachieving right now, and
Yes,
they are playing well. Please, I would not take one situation and try to paint them red and say that's why they're on top of the team. I completely disagree with that. I think Spurs deserve to be number one right now. They are playing the best football in the league. Their press is top of the league right now, and Madison and Son as a team, they work as a dynamic duo. So yes, I believe they deserve to be number one.
so we'll come to Spurs in a
Part I
second.
respect what they are
I
doing,
wanted to get
but I
I wanted
disagree.
to get
Okay, go
your
ahead.
perspective on what exactly is the core of the problem between for Manchester United, right? So we've said there are problems. What is it? Is it that the players are not performing? Is it that the coach's
It,
tactics are not working?
it's not a good
Is it that they
football.
don't have the right players?
This,
It's a combination of a lot of
Cincy.
things. Hmm?
Hmm.
It's a
this is
combination of
not
a
a
lot
good
of
football.
things. I think the coach is trying to figure it out, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him. But these players, they've been there for some time. Some of them have been there for some time. So by now, I would expect them to understand what is expected. The fact that they are still at this level just shows me that
So are they
I don't.
underperforming or they're just not good enough?
They are not good enough at this point. I think they're not
Okay.
just good enough because
So looking at looking at
we've
this
given
team,
them too many
who do you
chances.
think doesn't belong here?
All of them. I'm
Wow.
telling
The
you, all of them
the
don't belong
the
here.
truth.
Even Fernandez right now, I'm not seeing anything from him. They all
I
don't.
I
They're not
I
acting like
I
they belong to the team. Like
I
people,
I
The,
think I think the style of play that the coach wants to play, the style
Mhm.
is not a fit for all
For the
these players.
players.
but
Mm.
that's the thing. I disagree with that whole point of the
He
style
wants to
thing.
pass. See, he wants to pass from the.
I mean, these guys are not stupid, man. The
Oh,
thing
hold
is,
on, Cincy. Let's get Donadoni's
He wants to
view.
pass out from the back, right?
Yeah.
When you start this pass out from the back, you're going left or right. Eh? That load is not very comfortable on the ball, right?
Mm. Yeah.
McTominay is not very comfortable. He's a destroyer, not a ball holder or a distributor. I've not really seen too much of Alaba to judge him. So Onana is forced to play a long ball to Fernandez to hold the ball, right? By passing, Maguire forgets himself. So if you give him the ball, he can roll all the way to the front and leave Varane and the rest open. So the style of play that this guy wants to play is not a fit for the players he has. Because the players he is looking for are players that are very comfortable on the ball. He, I think is the coach. The coach is the problem. Forget the players. He's buying players that does not fit what
as,
he wants to do.
as a combination of two of them, they are not the players are not good enough. So again, if he knows that the players are not good enough, then why is he not buying players that can play what he wants to play?
Be-
He had the entire summer to decide that he decides to go buy a goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is not going to play the game for you. That's why I said that the goalkeeper was not a priority right now.
It
So
wasn't
you
a
see where
priority.
my own anger is. You see where my own thing is with him. That's not what we need right now. We need players that can play around with the ball, players that can pass the ball, players that are intelligent. That's what
Be-
we
be-
need right now. We don't
Because
have enough of
if you
those.
look at the City players, right, the first thing that comes to your mind that any guy in that team can play anywhere. Why? The first thing you need to
I
do, you
disagree
have to
with
be
that, though. I disagree. But go
the
ahead.
first thing they have to do is you have to be very comfortable on the ball. You can control the ball, you can look up, you can pass, you can move, make movement, move into space. If you look at most of our players, they can comfortably do that. That's why
Exactly.
Ake can play left, right, middle. Diaz can play left, right, middle. Gabador can play left, right, middle. Lewis is really not a defender. Lewis is a midfielder. He can play almost anywhere from right back to middle. Foden can play, left forward, right forward, center. Haaland is the only one that we don't play around with it with that much. Silva can move anywhere. So the first criteria to be a City player is to be comfortable on the ball. And the moment you can do that, you fit the puzzle.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
So
And unfortunately, we
let's
don't
wrap.
have that.
It sounds like everybody's seeing a clear City win for this. I think I'm in that camp as well. I don't know that I can see points for Man U, except Biodun. Biodun thinks Man U might still a 2-1. And from both of you talking, it sounds like it's a combination of Eric Ten Hag's tactics not being quite a fit for players that are not good enough, right? So if you have players that are not good enough, you maybe want to find a system that you can fit with them. Let's switch our view over to the rest of the games that we have for the weekend, and we're just going to look at just get quick predictions from the other games. Okay, and I'm just going to take scoreline predictions. I'll start with you, Biodun. Crystal Palace versus Spurs.
2-1. I want Crystal Palace to win. I don't care whether you disagree.
Crystal
I want
Palace
Crystal Palace
2-1.
to win. And it's supposed to get off that table.
Donadoni.
Spurs is gonna win that game.
Spurs
Spurs is
win.
gonna win.
Okay. Cincy, same thing.
Spurs 2-0.
Spurs 2-0. Okay. So I think everybody except Biodun again is seeing a win for Spurs. I think Spurs is going to win this game as well. All right, Chelsea Brentford.
Hmm.
Chelsea Brentford.
Chelsea is unpredictable. I see a
See
draw.
that? There's Stamford Bridge, so a draw.
It
Okay.
is,
Sissy.
yeah, Chelsea is unpredictable. It depends on which side of the bed they wake up on. But Brentford has the quality to pull out a draw here.
Great. Sissy, your thoughts?
I think
Win, draw?
Chelsea is getting back to form. I call 2-1 for Chelsea on this one.
Okay. I think I see a draw in this game. It's a London derby. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw.
Fair enough.
Arsenal Sheffield. Arsenal man, Biodun.
Arsenal is winning this.
Arsenal
Mm,
should win
Do you
this.
agree?
Arsenal should win this
This
3-0.
this is like a 3-0 game.
3-0. Sissy,
I Balile
are you
now.
in the same camp?
5-0. I predict 5-0 for Arsenal. I even captain
No, don't, don't,
Saka.
don't, don't jinx, don't jinx us, man.
Saka is my captain for this weekend. Don't even worry.
All right, Bournemouth Burnley. Biero.
That's
I
difficult
know
to call.
you've expressed some concerns about Vincent Company's job
Man,
at Burnley. Do you think he
He
picks
has
up
to.
points here,
The guy has to.
Biero?
The guy has to start playing realistic football.
Yeah, so this might be his last game. I told you, and the reason
Mm,
why, and I agreed with you too, was that we should let him play all the tough games, and the tough games are over, but nothing has changed.
yeah.
So this game, I think this might be his last game if he doesn't win this game. Bournemouth is a
Mm,
very good side, so I see Bournemouth winning 2-0, and I think this might be his last game. Vincent Company.
interesting. Donadoni, do you agree with that assessment?
Uh, it's difficult to call.
Do you think Company will still keep his job? Do you think he'll survive in the Premier League?
He has to change his style of play.
Okay.
It's
Cincy.
too open. It's
yeah,
too.
I think sorry, Biodun, sorry, Donadoni. I think company is trying to achieve the impossible with this team. Is trying to do the impossible. And I'm gonna have to agree with Biodun on this one. This might most likely be his last game, unfortunately. I think he's a good
Wow.
coach, but I think what he's trying to do, he might have to take it elsewhere, but it's not going to work with this team. This team is a farm boy team. These boys are known to pack the bus, and he's trying to play Man City types football with them. Unfortunately, yeah, this is
That
a
that
round hole in a square peg situation.
that is why I'm saying he has to change the style of play.
The start. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
When you are in a team like Burnley that you're lacking resources,
Mm,
you're lacking talent. The first thing you do is you protect yourself. Then you hit the people on the counter. You
yeah.
cannot be playing City and be open. You cannot be playing Spurs and be open. You cannot be
Yeah.
playing Chelsea and be open. Sit
Okay.
back, contain them, have one or two counter attacks, pick up a goal, and go back and block everything else. Then the moment you start getting points on the board, then you now grow into confidence. Right now, you cannot. They are little or nothing. So I don't know where they are trying to just play out of the back, play
Mm-hmm.
fluent football. It's too early.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the right ingredient for the
You,
Etufei is trying
ball
to.
is never going to get there until you are able to at least secure yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's looking bleak. Yeah, I think they had a tough run of games to start, but they have Bournemouth now. They have Everton up next and Crystal Palace. So if he's not picking up points from those three games, I think I might be leaning towards Biodun and starting to agree that it's getting dicey for him. All right, let's
Ayo,
look at Wolves. Yeah, yeah,
okay,
go ahead,
I'm
Biodun.
just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that. Remember, my two predictions still stand. Well, not prediction, but my forecast is that it's either gonna be Vincent Company or Bottom. So it's between Sheffield and it's between the two of them. And this weekend game will probably determine that because Arsenal will probably beat Sheffield mercilessly.
Yeah.
So either Bottom or Vincent Company, one should be announced. I mean, it's taking too
So
much time for us to get the first EPL manager to be sacked. So I'm hoping that this
I
weekend we get the
agree.
first
Are
EPL
we
manager
are
to
we
be
how many games in now?
Yeah, this is the
week
10th
10.
weekend.
This is week 10.
Yeah,
Oh
this is week
wow,
10.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
that's
Yeah,
it's
that's
taking
normally
it's
by
taking longer than it
October,
used to be.
we have at least somebody leaving. So I think by November we'll definitely see one of those two heading out if they don't start picking up points. Let's look at Newcastle. Wolves versus Newcastle. Pedro Neto has been, doing amazing things so far, and they've been picking up points. I had them tipped for relegation at the start of the season, but they've
I was
they've
going to
stayed
call
away
you out
from
if you
there.
didn't say that. So you need to apologize to them.
Yeah, I've apologized. So I have to give Neto credit because Neto has always been a very good player, but he hasn't had that end product. And I think, interestingly enough, this season under the new manager, he's starting to deliver, and he's dragging them almost single-handedly out of that relegation battle. Biodun, do you see that being enough against Newcastle though?
I think it might be a draw. Newcastle lost over the week, Champions League. Tonali is now suspended for 10 months, thereabouts.
wow.
Um,
Mm,
yeah. So Jolinton, I don't know if he picked up an injury that he just came back from. But honestly, I don't wish Newcastle well because it's a very strong side. So
yeah,
I want it to be a draw. Wolves have been playing excellently well, and I told Ayo we need to get Neto before the price goes up too much. So I want a draw. I don't think they will beat Newcastle because Newcastle is out by that game, so they probably come with a fighting spirit not to lose another game. But
okay,
Tonali is out. They probably the bench is probably suffering right now, so maybe a draw, and that would be good
got
enough
it.
to
So
keep them away from the top
best
three.
case for Wolves is a draw. All right, Donadoni, Newcastle win
I say a draw.
or a loss?
I
A
say a draw.
draw. Okay, you're both seeing draws. Cincy, are you gonna make it 3 for 3?
I think first of all, I want to see what Biodun said about you guys trying to get into. My problem is why is United not thinking in that space? See, we go. See, you remember Moreno said one thing when he came to United. He said, "How is it that nobody here saw Robertson when he was at Wolves, and there was this other guy that we missed on? He said, how is it that you guys missed out on these players? Like, what thing that they look again? This is my problem. Where these players are there for us to go and see Mr. Biodun, no be coach, no be say he did the team. He already calculate saying I won't get Neto. I don't think anybody saying we are going to get Neto United. You know,
So I think you guys don't have a budget at the moment though. My
how much
understanding
is
is
it
you
going to
had
cost us to buy Neto, man? Please, how much is it going to cost?
But you have to realize something.
last
The excitement to
last
play for
quote for
United
Neto
is
was
no
around
longer there.
that is also true. That is also
But my
true.
but my anyways, my prediction for this game, I like Newcastle right now, man. Their Premiership form is pretty good, and I think it's going to be a very
Yeah.
interesting game. I think this is going to be a 2-2, a 2-2, a 2-2
Because
game.
they struggle to
Two to
break
draw.
teams
Yeah,
down.
a draw. I think
Wow.
it's going to be a draw.
Wolves
Yeah,
is going to counter attack.
Interesting. All three of you are looking
yeah,
at
I
a
think it's
draw.
going to
I'm
be.
seeing a win
Yeah,
for Newcastle,
yeah,
but
Now,
I've been wrong
yeah,
Wolves
before.
is going
yeah.
to counter attack.
No, I know. I want to say win, but Wolves is pretty good right now. So their form is pretty good, and I see both teams.
Okay.
And the reason why Neto is also playing well is because of the new formation they are playing. I think that place that they are putting in is allowing him to cause so much damage with his left leg. So
Hmm.
yeah, the guy is pretty good. I like him.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Let's go into the Sunday games. A lot of games on Sunday as well. We normally don't see, so many games, but there are a lot of games Sunday. West Ham, Everton.
West Ham will win.
I'll start with Donadoni on this one.
This is a difficult game to call.
Hmm.
West Ham is good on paper, but Everton plays destructive football, right?
Yeah,
So this is tough for me to call. I see a draw, a very boring draw game.
interesting. Okay. Cincy.
Uh, I see West Ham 2-0 for this one. West Ham is a very solid team. I think they would win professionally, easy. Everton is not really good right
Professionally.
now. Yeah.
Biodun, which camp do you fall in?
West Ham needs a win. They need to come back to winning ways. They're going to win 3-1. West Ham is going to
Okay.
win this 3-1.
Okay. Villa Luton. Villa Luton.
Villa
Biodun, you
win.
can
Do
feel
we
free
do
to
we
call me
do
out.
we do we need to predict that one? Villa will destroy this one. Forget about it. It's probably going to be a
Watkins.
5-1 or 5-0. Villa will destroy them.
Villa
Forget
win.
it.
I,
All right. Donadoni.
Villa wins.
Villa win. Cincy.
I see a Watkins hat trick. So yeah, we already
All
know
right.
my answer, man. I see 3-0.
Okay. Okay. And again, I'm going to apologize to Luton fans, but every time we get on here and we're looking at the Luton game, I say I don't really see where they're going to pick up points from. They surprised me and won a game, and I think they've had a draw as well. So they're picking up points, but I think Villa might be too strong for them. Brighton, Fulham. Since I'll kick this one off with you. Brighton versus
I
Fulham.
think I think Brighton needs to bounce back. They've had a couple of disappointing performances or results, not performances, but I think 2-1. Fulham has been disappointing lately. I think 2-1 for Brighton.
Yeah. Donadoni.
I say draw.
A draw. Okay.
Yeah, because
Do you think this will be a goalless draw or a scoring draw?
scoring draw. Because the Brighton is
Scoring draw.
good, but they are making some silly mistakes from this playing at the back stuff. And if you
Hmm.
even and Fulham also is making that same mistake, just playing at the back stuff. That was how they lost their last game. I don't know who they played. All right. But there was two silly
Yeah.
mistakes playing
Yeah.
from the back and
Brighton played you. Brighton played City. They almost
Yeah.
equalized.
Brighton played City. I
They
believe
almost equalized.
Chelsea played
Yeah.
Fulham.
The last game Brighton played was against City when you won 2-1. They almost equalized.
Yeah. Chelsea played
Mitoma
Fulham.
Mitoma should have scored those two
True.
goals.
and you know how many you know how
Biodun,
many you know how many chances Ireland wasted in
I,
that
I,
game?
I I was expecting him to. So.
Yeah.
you set him up for that. Biodun, that's on Brighton Fulham.
Brighton will win. So Fulham has been disappointing lately, and this is an away game for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting them to play better against Spurs, but looking at this current Fulham, you've talked about it. The moment
Yeah.
Mitrovic left that team, it dropped below their
Against
performance last
Spurs, they
season.
were not bad. They just made two foolish by playing from the back mistakes.
But that's the game,
I think,
right?
and it
So
was that Nigerian guy
against
that
Brighton
made the
that is going to
mistake.
run them. Against
And
Brighton that is going
Brighton
to run
and
them wide.
Brighton makes the same mistakes too from that playing at the back stuff.
I
They
think Brighton
overdo
is
it.
a lot more capable of playing out from the back than Fulham, and Brighton is going to press high up. They will kill you in your own defensive third when you're trying to play out from the back. So I hope Leno tries to go long. Otherwise, I think we
Leno
might
doesn't know
actually
how to
see
play
Brighton
from the back.
overrun
That's
this.
the problem. So we're
He
talking about
doesn't.
coaches and changing
Leno.
anything. If you're going to make
I
Fulham
think.
play from the back, then Leno has to go. If you want to
Yeah.
get the best out of
Yeah.
Leno like they did last season, then Leno has to play what he knows how to play, which is kick the ball. When Arteta started forcing Leno to play from the back, that's when we got into problem.
That's when we got
So
problems. Yeah.
Leno is an old guy. He's not going to change. He's an old cat. He's done. He's done.
All right,
Leno,
last game of the weekend, since we already covered the Man U City game. Liverpool Forest. Biodun,
Oh, it's gonna
how do you see
Liverpool's
this
gonna
one go?
shatter. Liverpool's gonna shatter Nottingham Forest. There's nothing Nottingham Forest can do to stop Liverpool. Liverpool again. People are not talking about them, but I predicted them as the top three. I mean, they are contenders for winning this league. So Liverpool's going to
Agreed.
destroy Nottingham Forest. You
Agreed.
the way they play today, you score them one and you are looking for trouble. The moment you score them, they just come out and destroy you.
Donadoni,
Liverpool win 3-0.
Liverpool wins comfortable.
Liverpool. Since I know you already talked about Liverpool.
Yeah,
Comfortable
Liverpool.
win.
Liverpool. Yeah, I can see them winning this one. Liverpool has a lot of firepower right now. but they can be very unpredictable too, man. They have these moments where they won't just show. I mean, their last game was it like 1-1 or something like that? Who did they play? No, I think they won 2-0, but there was a game where they were supposed to win, and I think they didn't show up on that game. So I don't know. And Awoni needs to score. I haven't seen him on the score sheet lately, man. I don't know. Is he injured?
I think
He's
Owoni
injured.
has been injured.
He's injured.
He's injured.
Was
Okay.
injured last week, so I don't know if he will be fit for this game.
Yeah. Okay. But I see
Yeah,
Liverpool
he's been
winning this
injured.
one easy.
Again,
All right, I think that
Awoni only knows how to play when he plays Arsenal, so I don't care about him. He only plays his best when he plays Arsenal, so you can go whatever you want to do. I don't care.
Owoni actually started the season very brightly. I think he scored
Mm-hmm.
in maybe the first 3 or 4 games
And
that
he
he
was
played
also
in.
assisting as well. He was getting a couple
Yeah,
of assisting. Yeah.
he started the season very brightly. All right, so I think that brings us to the end of our segment this week. Thank you guys for sticking all the way through. I really enjoyed having Donadoni and Cincy on here, giving us their fan perspectives. It looks like Man U is in a spot of trouble despite their wins, because I think my takeaway is that nobody's seeing anything good for Man U coming out of this weekend. But thanks, guys. As always, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and stay tuned till next week. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks for having
Thank
me,
you.
man.